Good evening to you. This is Look Weekend. My name is Brian Amuai. Welcome to the program tonight. Start engaging us on our socials at Amuai Brian on Twitter at Lookuptv. The hashtag we are using tonight is Look Weekend. Our sign language interpreter is Philista Adundo. But first, top stories tonight. Making headlines tonight. President William Ruto's Kenya Kwanza and opposition coalition azimio reach agreement after foreign intervention. Also tonight, we tell you why you will dig deeper into your pockets as we break down the impact of the Finance Act 2023 implementation. And
jambo tunatenda leo ni kuwaonyesha vitu za kale ambazo zinapatikana hapa, alafu ndio waweze kufanya na waone vile watu wa kale walikuwa wanaishi.
Scientists and researchers discover remains of early man in Ngobit, Laikipia County. Now, former Nigerian President Olesegun Obasanjo is set to facilitate fresh talks between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza to settle the difference between the two factions. Now, both sides will nominate 5 members each to sit in the new dialogue panel. The political tension between Azimio and Kenya Kwanza that has kept the country on the edge for long could be heading to its conclusion after the two sides agreed to embark on new talks to resolve the issues that are of paramount importance for both sides of the political divides. The fresh talks, which will be facilitated by former Nigerian President Olesegun Obasanjo, come days after Raila Odinga hinted that Samia Suluhu was willing to broker a deal between Raila Odinga and Ruto that will see the end of chaos and unrest in the country. In a statement on Saturday, Minority Leader Opiyo Wandayi said they had reached the decision after consultations with the Kenya Kwanza side under Obasanjo's facilitation, desirous of a democratic and peaceful resolution of issues that beset the nation. The statement reads, and I quote, "We, the leadership of Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party, having consulted with the leadership of the Kenya Kwanza, are determined to resolve our differences amicably for the benefit of all our people." The statement read in part. Azimio has agreed to nominate 5 members to sit in a new dialogue panel that will consist of other members from the Kenya Kwanza. Under the new agreement, the two sides will form a committee of 10 composed of 5 members each from Azimio la Umoja and Kenya Kwanza. We have therefore agreed with the Kenya Kwanza to establish a committee of 10 composed of 5 members each from Azimio la Umoja and the Kenya Kwanza as follows. Wandayi said the committee will include 4 members from outside parliament, 2 from each side, leaders of majority and minority from the National Assembly, and 4 additional members of parliament, which are 2 from each side. The new development now puts on hold the opposition's plan to issue new directives regarding their anti-government street protests. The coalition said on Friday during an interdenominational requiem mass for protest victims that it will give the way forward on the demos this Sunday. However, the latest development quashes the earlier pronouncement. Brian Amuai, Lookuptv, Nairobi. Now, President William Ruto has today launched the Toyota Fortuner line at the Associated Vehicle Assembler in Mombasa during his 5-day tour in the coastal region. Now, speaking during the event, the president said the government will ensure the country has enough locally manufactured cars and locally assembled cars to reduce the rate and cost of importation. The head of state further reiterated that he will not allow any politics that leads to death and damage of property.
Where we were building a fish market that has stalled, I want to assure you that we will unlock that, and we want to complete the that fish market in the next 3 months. I also want to promise the people of Mombasa, here in Kidongo, that we are going to put 100 million shillings there to build a fish landing facility complete with cold rooms so that we can provide opportunities for the young people of this county and for the people of Mombasa to tap into the blue economy ecosystem to create jobs and be able to enhance our food security. Together, we're going to move ahead. I am very confident. I have listened to the governor of Mombasa. I have listened to the members of parliament in this region. And I think we are all agreed that in our political equation, as a democracy, as a people who believe in constitutionalism and the rule of law, there cannot be space for violence in our political equation. We must, as a people, as a country, that it is not going to be business as usual. It is not going to be part of going forward as a nation, that we can engage in politics that destroys property, that causes loss of life, that destroys public infrastructure, that is not going to be the way. And whatever it takes, we must do together as a nation to make sure that we build our country, we provide opportunity for the young people of our nation. And I am very happy that in Mombasa, in the last 8 months, we have hired another 500 teachers to teach the children of Mombasa County. And I want to give my assurance to the people of Mombasa that as we build Kenya, Mombasa will be front and center, making sure that we move along together.
Now, ICT Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo now says the government's digital platform eCitizen is back to optimal operation after hackers tried to access the system on Thursday this week. Now, this is while confirming no data was breached during the incident. Owalo has assured Kenyans elaborate measures have been put in place to avert such attacks in future. Our reporter Henry Tende now files.
2 days after hackers unsuccessfully tried to hack into the government's digital platform eCitizen, frustrating over 5,000 services, ICT Cabinet Secretary Eliud Owalo now says the platform is back to full operation.
I'm aware that there was a small incident where the services were temporarily interfered with. I want to take this opportunity again to assure Kenyans that what we witnessed was an attempted attack on the eCitizen platform. What they did was to make more than normal requests into the system so that the system gets jammed or the system gets clogged. But the mitigation framework we have around that system thwarted that attempt, and as we speak, we are back to operations. All the services can be consumed virtually as before. We are back to optimal level capacity utilization on the eCitizen platform.
eCitizen is a go-to platform for citizens who are in need of services from various government ministries. The system has crucial information of Kenyans and indication that that data may have been compromised by the attackers left the country in fear. But CS Owalo has rested those fears, confirming the hackers did not mess with any detail on the platform.
The data that we have within the eCitizen platform was in no way interfered with.
In order to avert future cyber attacks in the country, CS Owalo says the government has put in place elaborate measures to revamp system security in all ministries.
Moving forward, we have put in place an elaborate risk mitigation framework to ensure that we pursue our digitalization agenda to a logical conclusion without interference by any extraneous actors or factors. That is the comfort and assurance that I want to give to Kenyans.
The CS further says the government is on course to double services listed on the eCitizen platform for ease of access.
By the end of the year, we shall have fully digitalized about 10,000 services, government services, about the eCitizen platform, so that we transform government into a paperless process government. We are no longer going to have any paperwork in government.
Several countries have fallen victims to high level of cyber attacks that have left a breach of data and loss of money, a situation that has also elicited a paradigm shift in system security, with countries spending more on cyber security. Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
To say a word, maybe the others will only introduce.
Now, Head of Public Service, Felix Koskei, has directed security agencies in Kericho County to intensify the war on alcohol and drug abuse. Koskei noted that rampant abuse of substances has negatively impacted education standards in the county. He further called on residents not to be deceived by false religious teachings.
Mwenyewe anaongoza hiyo vita dhidi ya pombe haramu. And we are asking for your support. Let us stop alcoholism and drug abuse. Na hiyo ikome. Na hiyo sio kupembelezana, itafanya nini? Ikome. Mambo ya vita haitakikani. Mambo ya wizi ya ng'ombe hatuwezi kuruhusu. Mambo ya watu kuuana hatuwezi kubali. Wakora hatuwezi kubali watembee area hii wakisumbua wananchi, wakipora mali ya wananchi au wakitisha wananchi.
Now, following the lifting of the suspension of the implementation of the Finance Act 2023, Safaricom has announced an adjustment in pricing for its services. The Court of Appeal on Friday okayed the implementation of the Act, which had been suspended, awaiting hearing. The impact of the Finance Act 2023 has started biting just hours after the Court of Appeal lifted its implementation. Businesses across the country moving to effect the changes that seek to affect businesses and Kenyans. In a notice, Kenya's biggest telco announced the changes they seek to implement going forward. The notice reads in the quote, following the enactment into law of the Finance Act 2023 and the Court of Appeal ruling on the 28th July 2023, effective 29th July 2023, we will be reviewing our call, SMS, data, fiber, and M-Pesa pricing to reflect the increase in excess duty rate on fees charged on mobile money transfers from 12% to 15% and to decrease in excess duty rate in telecommunication services, that is call, SMS, data, and fiber from 20% to 15%. The Finance Act 2023, assented by President William Ruto on the 26th June 2023, ushered in sweeping changes in excess duty rates across various sectors. It reduces the fees charged for money transfer service by banks and other financial service providers from 20% to 15%. Contrarily, payment service providers licensed under National Payment Systems Act 2021, that is excluding cellular phone service providers, will now face an excess duty of 15%. The Act also introduces steep hikes in excess duties on betting, gaming, lotteries and prize competition. The excess duty on amounts wagered on staked in these sectors has risen from 7.5% to 12.5%. Furthermore, fees charged on advertisement on television, print media, billboards and radio stations for alcoholic beverages, betting, gaming, lotteries and prize competitions are also now taxed at 15%. The future of Safaricom customers is mixed in the wake of these changes. While the rise in M-Pesa service costs may cause some concern, the counterbalance provided by reduced charges on calls, SMS, data and fiber services might alleviate some of the financial impact. The new Safaricom prices now include withdrawing of 500 shillings to 2,500 has gone up from 28 shillings to 29 shillings. Withdrawing 2,501 to 3,500 has gone up from 50 shillings to 52 Kenya shillings. Cash withdrawals of between 3,501 and 5,000 will now cost 69 shillings to withdraw, up from 67 shillings. On the higher side, transactions from 50,000 Kenya shillings to 150,000 Kenya shillings will now cost 309 shillings, up from 300 shillings, an increase of 9 Kenya shillings. The increase also affects the cost on transaction. The order by the appellate court was issued after Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u filed a challenge and convinced a 3-judge bench that the government was likely to be crippled if the High Court order was not lifted. Justice Mohamed Wasame, Kiturima Minoti and Hedu Gomondi observed that there will be irreversible economic consequences if the order is not lifted. The court ruling reads, the upshot of our decision is that the application has merit and the same is allowed as spread with the effect that the order made on 10th July 2023 suspending the Finance Act 2023 and the order prohibiting the implementation of the Finance Act 2023 be and is hereby lifted pending the hearing and determination of the appeal. The appellate court ruled that the government, who appealed the suspension through the Treasury Cabinet Secretary Njuguna Ndung'u, had satisfied twin principles to warrant the grant of the order sought. We are persuaded that the applicants have satisfied the twin principle for the grant of the order sought, and that public interest tilts in favor of setting aside the conservatory orders by the trial judge, read the ruling in part. The three-judge bench, led by Mohamed Osame, said the appeal will be heard and determined within 60 days. The High Court on June 30th suspended the implementation of the Finance Act 2023 pending the determination of a petition filed by Senator Okiya Omtata and 6 other activists. Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u moved to the Court of Appeal, arguing the suspension is affecting government operations. Brian Amwai, Lookuptv, Nairobi. Time to take a short break here on Lookuptv. Don't go too far. We'll be back in a moment.
The future is hands-on, and Sensei College is at the front line of technical institutes in Kenya, offering practical and skill-based courses accredited by all concerned bodies, TVETA, NTSA and NITA. Sensei College offers driving and plant operator, cosmetology, fashion and design, mechanics, hydroponics and irrigation, installation, building construction, hospitality, photography and video production, electrical and electronics repairs, and ICT courses. Get free plant operator training when you enroll for plant mechanics, free driving when you enroll for motor vehicle mechanics, and free riding when you enroll for motorcycle mechanics. The requirement is an ID only, with intakes every first week of the month. We have 2 campuses in Nakuru and Nairobi. We provide meals and accommodation. Sensei College. My skills, my future.
Infinity Industrial Park is one of the largest private industrial parks located along Eastern Bypass, Nairobi, which provides modern infrastructure for smooth operations for industries and business enterprises. Infinity Industrial Park offers world-class amenities and facilities with wide roads, a police station, a power substation, fire station, public transport stage, hospital, and shopping mall. In addition, Infinity Industrial Park also offers CCTV cameras, 24-hour private armed security patrol, sewer, water, fiber optic cable, and 3-phase power connection, added to public utility, canteen, and dining areas. Sail on the golden opportunity to invest in Infinity Industrial Park fully serviced warehouses at a special price of 3,569 Kenyan shillings per square foot. For more inquiries, visit our website infinityindustrialpark.com.
Guys, thank you so much for staying with us here on Lookup Weekend. Let's continue bringing you up to date with the news that have been making headlines across the country today. Now, the East Africa Portland Cement company is set to revive its operations after implementation of its strategic plan. Now, plant refurbishment and new management. Let's take a look at this particular story.
The East African Portland plant, which has been operating at a capacity of 20%, has now recorded a major increase of more than 50%, and the current production stands at 1,500 tons of cement per day.
East African, we have been looking at refurbishing our plant. For a long time, our plant was not refurbished. It had actually deteriorated. But after doing the first phase of it, we've got 2 phases to go. The company actually has grown its volumes by 25%. That is especially last year compared to the previous year.
Speaking during the induction tour of the new board members, Managing Director Oliver Kirubai said the company now considers selling its vast Athi River land worth billions and invest the money into the company.
The other thing also is about land disposal, which we are working with the central government to allow us to convert this huge asset, to liquidate it so that we're able to get working capital. And already systems are roaring. Everything is everything is getting in place in a very good way, especially as far as acquiring money from these assets is concerned. So that's our hope, that yes, the working capital deficit will be fully addressed. As you're aware, Portland has got land worth 50 billion shillings.
Kirubai says the implementation of the 17% duty on imported clinker will improve the company's profitability since it's a major clinker manufacturer.
You've seen the other day is about the issue of 17% duty that has been put on clinker. Portland Cement is among the 4 producers of cement in this country that produce clinker. And we've got the best quality clinker in this country. And therefore we've got an opportunity to produce more clinker, not only for our use, but also for selling to other cement grinders.
The EAPC Director Patrick Oletutui said the company, through assessment, has proved there is sufficient cement materials to sustain operations.
We have established that there is the land that, the parcels of land that Portland owns has substantial deposits of the materials that we need. For instance, in Bisil, according to the records that we have adequate limestone that will take us the next 40 years.
Management wrangles have in the past affected operations in the company. The cement company is a key market contributor that employs hundreds of workers at its Athi River plant and its Kajedo mines. Amin Abdurrahman, Lookuptv.
Now, researchers and scientists have discovered remains and traces of early man in Ngobit, Laikipia East, where they have now embarked on a vigorous campaign to sensitize the neighboring community to preserve any fossils they find, since their discovery provides historical and archaeological evidence.
These are remains of ancient creatures, fossils showing evidence of existence and the cultures of ancient people.
How old is the earth?
These remains have given researchers and scientists the desire to gain further knowledge about the early man. Their discovery and research have provided students of this school with new historical lessons, and they are delighted as these lessons will unveil ancient cultures.
Hapa tuko leo kufundisha wanafunzi sayansi zenye hazifunzwi sana. Tuko na geolojia, arkeolojia, anthropolojia, paleontolojia, na haya si yale tunayapata katika vyuo vikuu vingi katika nchi yetu hapa Kenya.
According to these archaeological researchers who found these remains in Ngobit, Laikipia East, their first step was to ensure that the history of these ancient remains have been preserved by motivating the students and encouraging the local community to preserve anything ancient they come across in their daily lives, as preservation of history today ensures a legacy for generations to come.
We have learned that early people did hunting and gathered animals and how they slaughtered. For us, we have truly learned, because the skill that we have learned here, we can apply it even at home.
This remains that illustrate how history has contributed to today's society have attracted scientists from Technical University of Kenya who visited here and shared with students from this area about the ancient way of life and how technology has changed that.
Na tulikuja sehemu hii kwa sababu tumepata vitu ya kale ambayo imepatikana katika nyanda za hii sehemu. Tukikuja hapa kufanya research, kitu moja tumeona ya muhimu ni kuhusisha community. Na pahali mzuri ya kuanzia na kuhusisha community ni kuongea ama kuhusisha wanafunzi wa shule, sana wanafunzi wa shule ya upili.
These exercise was particularly beneficial for historical training as it provided students with unique and valuable understanding of the lives of ancient people and their contribution to human development, since the sands of time reveal the secrets of civilization.
They will make what we call stone tools and use them. Kama vile wanafunzi wetu wamefurahia kuchinja mbuzi wakitumia mawe, nao wamefurahia sana.
Kitambo halikuwa na washa moto na kiberiti. Walikuwa natumia mikono na tumiona sisi leo tumiona na macho. Na kitu chenye tumesoma cha muhimu ati ni kwamba ati unaweza washa moto kutumia mikono.
Wairimu Kimani, Lookuptv.
Now, a pregnant woman from Kakamega County had an unexpected delivery when she went to the pit latrine to relieve herself. These are more stories in our county roundup.
It was a pregnancy she carried for months, hoping to give birth in hospital. But Soso village woke up to a pool of blood in the toilet after Lena Modora mistook her labor pain for the need to go to the toilet. The mother of 3 claims that she experienced a lot of discomfort throughout the night, not knowing that she was due. However, her call to be taken to hospital for checkup was not answered in the middle of the night, and when she went to the toilet, that is when she delivered. Modora says that she pleaded with her husband when she sent the labor pains, but her word fell on deaf ears.
Nilikuwa naenda kujisaidia alafu bahati mbaya mtoto akaanguka kwa toilet. Nimemtuma pikipiki kuanzia saa 9 mpaka ndio akaendea saa 11.
Bibi yangu alikuwa mjamzito. Sasa asubuhi kuamka kwenda kuchukua pikipiki kuja kuona shida ni nini. Kuja kufika yeye akaniambia kwa sawa. So kutoka kwa nyumba kwenda kwa choo, kufika kwa choo, kuangalia kwa choo naona damu.
Elsewhere in Bungoma County, a section of members of parliament are now planning to propose a bill in parliament to punish male defiling young women. This comes after Bungoma County recorded a high number of early pregnancies.
Kuhusu eti Bungoma hii yetu, ati ndio tunaongoza ati kwa kupatia wasichana ya shule ya timimba. Mimi Madam Gladys Bolsolei, mimi siku ya Jumatatu niko naleta mswada na wewe uapprove hiyo mswada kwa sheria. Kwamba yule mwanaume ambaye anapatikana amepatia msichana ya shule mimba, hiyo kitu yake katwe, apaki tunakashimia kadogo ya kutoa peke yake. Hata akishikwa, akifungwa, akitoka anaendelea kufanya kazi.
Education stakeholders from Bera region in Ebu County have decried discrimination in the just concluded county school games, saying there was a strategy to deny some students from participating in the games. The teachers noted that some sub-counties were allowed to field 2 teams for every game, while those from Beere were allowed to present only 1 team at the county level.
We are saying as Kupet, we want uniformity, we want equality, and we want all teams from all the sub-counties to be either 1 or 2. If we decide 1 team to come for the county games, let it be 1 from every sub-county.
Finally, perennial cattle thefts have risen again in Borabu sub-county along the Kipsigis and Abagusi communities' common border. After a few years of peaceful coexistence enjoyed by the 2 communities, the residents are now calling on the government to act on the issue.
Na si mtu mmoja ameibiwa, hiyo ni kitu ya wiki kila siku na ng'ombe zetu zimeisha. Lakini sisi tunaomba Kindiki, hii maneno nguvu yote umepeleka huko North Rift, tunataka pia ikuche hapa kwetu. At least na sisi tulale na amani.
Stella Kilonzo, Lookuptv.
Now, in line with President William Ruto's housing agenda, Fusion Estates, a real estate multi-firm, has today launched Zahara Gardens, an affordable housing project for its buyers and prospects seeking residence around Nairobi and its environs by facilitating and ensuring they get free genuine title deeds, transfer and registration upon payment of the agreed price.
Louis Klickman once said that the best investment on earth is earth. Today, Fusion Estates A real estate multi-farm has launched Sahara Gardens, an affordable housing project, a neatly planned gated community located off Dagoretti Mutarakwa Road, Kamangu in Nashu area, Kikuyu constituency, Kiambu County, and is expected to serve potential homeowners working and living in Nairobi and its environs.
Fusion Capital and Fusion Estates. In every project we undertake, we always have skin in the game. And skin in the game means we don't sell properties that we don't own. Unlike many other developers who will place a deposit, then participate in selling land that they actually don't fully own. So that's one. We always have skin in the game. But secondly, we are a very structured organization that then ensures we produce titles, we master plan, and we control what gets developed. So as you've observed, we're already doing basic infrastructure on this site, and our intention is to deliver the infrastructure in full, be able to deliver titles to Kenyans, and be able to sell these properties at the price that has been quoted with no additional cost. And I think that puts us above everybody else in the market.
Sahara Gardens is a prime piece of land with electricity on site ready for connection, fully fenced with an estate gatehouse with water available on each plot, and a gated community with 3 house designs to customize and a green community area.
Fusion Estates will remain at the forefront to be a player in housing Kenyans. Like I mentioned during the launch of this beautiful project, is that the government cannot do it on its own. So players like Fusion will need to come in place, and like you've heard, we are working on we are working on a program that will support incremental construction. We are also ensuring that all the land that we buy, we make sure that we deliver titles within 60 days. So with that title deed, we also plug into the KMRC, Kenya Mortgage Refinancing Company program that supports middle income earners to own their first property.
By 2016, amid a rapid increase in demand for housing against short supply, which led to sharp increase in prices, players in the real estate sector frantically battled to dispel fears of an imminent increase and subsequent surge.
Things that sets Fusion apart is that we've been in this market now for 17 years, doing real estate investing. So, we're not just, we haven't just turned up and put up a billboard and started handing out flyers.
In the process of investing, there are various steps that are required. One of the first steps is to do the due diligence, and we are confirming that we've already done the due diligence. We've also looked at the potential of the investment, and this looking at land as an investment class.
Technically, Palituko, we are surrounded by very many counties. So if you've come with Wayaki Way, you've come through Nairobi County. If you've come through the Southern Bypass, you have come through Kajiado on this side of Ngong, sindio? And if you're coming from this side of Limuru, you have come from Nakuru all the way. So this is a place that is very accessible.
President William Ruto has remained adamant that the implementation of the affordable housing project remains key to addressing the country's housing crisis, claiming it will provide employment to over 1 million people a year. However, the government has to further seek funding support from the private sector to help it actualize the agenda.
What we believe at Fusion is that home ownership in Kenya is a journey, and that's why you realize that any location we've picked at Fusion Estate is a fairly prime location, and the idea is to ensure that whatever we pick is developable.
Fusion Estates now claim to be one of the key stakeholders that will see the government actualize its goal.
I'm a client of Fusion Estates. I managed to get a piece in Alpha Meadows. I've again come here because of the smooth process that Alpha Meadows offered me in the initial investment. I'm so grateful and so glad to be here, and also to maybe just look around and see whether I'll also secure some.
With
with land you can never go wrong. I think you've heard that. So to me, I don't go for, well, I'm not saying it's bad, but I don't go for flashy cars or flashy new iPhones. With land, you can it always appreciates. If I buy land today at 950, I'll come tomorrow sell at 960. If I come 2 years later, we are not talking less than 1.52 million. So for me, coming here to Zahara Gardens, I'm impressed actually with the well-graded land. I'm impressed. This is like a home away from home.
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv, Kiambu.
Now let's get sporty tonight. Gor Mahia Football Club has been awarded 10 million shillings by the Ministry of Culture, Arts and Sports in an event dubbed Hongera Champions Awards to appreciate legends under the ministry. Now, Sports CS Ababu Namwamba took the chance to rebuke irresponsible governance in sports. In the event, AFC Leopards were awarded 5 million shillings, while Vihiga Queens pocketed $500,000.
Vihiga Queens mabingwa wa ligi ya kinadada. Kakamega Homeboys jitayarisheni. 5 million shillings.
Pesa yaja. Changamkeni, pesa yaja, msimame.
Big size, baby, uko sawa.
No,
I'm addicted.
Now, in its efforts to raise the standards of world kickboxing in the country, the World Kickboxing Federation of Kenya held intense training today. Now, according to the Federation President Japheth Yahuma, the leadership aims to incorporate more youth in the game and ensure Kenya reaches international standards. However, the leaders and players have urged the government and sponsors to support their dream.
Wakiwa na hii nguvu wanafanya nayo zoezi na hii bidii wako nayo, nita make sure wameenda mbali na tena zaidi katika mchezo wa mixed martial arts yote. Angalia wachezaji wetu nao wenyewe ndio watafanya nyota yetu ingae. Na ndio maana mimi nasema hivi, the reason why nataka kuipanua zaidi, wachezaji wazuri wanatoka huko mashinani. Kwa hivyo tukiweza kueneza hii kitu iende mpaka Northeastern, iende wapi, tutapata wachezaji wazuri hata tutaamini. Mimi make sure nimeingiza kickboxing kwa mashule. In fact, November tarehe 18 tuko na game ya mashule ya kickboxing under 19. Nimefanya 3 events within a span of 6 months kutoka nikuwe kwa ofisi. Meaning that nikipata support, Kenya itaenda mbali zaidi. Kwanza international. Mimi hata sitaki Kenya hapa locally sasa. Mimi sasa akili yangu iko wapi? International.
Sana sana inahusishwa na vijana na unaona mostly watu wa ghetto wanakuanga na potential, but sasa ikifika ni contribution ya anything hawana. So tungeweza kuitisha wadhamini waje waingie na hii federation yetu ya World Kickboxing Federation watusaidie. Kwa mfano unaona hii seminar ya leo ni wachache sana waliweza kumake. Kwa sababu ya nini? Wengine wanatoka mbali na Kuru hawakuweza kufika pia kwa sababu ya fedha, but tungekuwa na wadhamini watu support kiasi, najua tungeendeleza hii talent ya watu.
First of all, me as a fighter imenisaidia kuwa na ile courage ya kuface vitu kwa life. Once umeanza kucheza hii mchezo wa kickboxing, umeanza kupigana kwa ring, kale ka uoga ka life kana kutokanga. Unaanza kuwa more aggressive, courageous, kila kitu vile inakuja unaihandle. So another thing inanisaidia for fitness.
Discipline, self control. Juu unaona ukiwa kwa ring hauwezi piga tu mtu venye unataka kumpiga kama uko na stress zako. Utaenda umpige tu venye unafuata hizo rules. Juu ndio self control pia inakusaidia ukiwa shule na inakukeep busy keep busy, usiende kutumia drugs huko nje. So unaona ukibweka tu kwa nyuma unasema niende kwa club yetu ya hiyo kickboxing, niende ni train kiasi juu game inakaribia.
Now, away from that, Kenya national rugby team for the under-20 Chipu will face Zimbabwe in the fight for the 5th position of the World Under-20 Rugby Trophy tomorrow. Now, Chipu finished in 3rd place in Group B with 1 win against China, while Zimbabwe finished in Group A in the 3rd position. All right, thank you so much for making time for the program tonight and trusting us to always bring you up to date with the news making headlines across the country. It is always an honor and a pleasure. My name is Brian Amwai. That's where we wrap it up tonight. And I do want to thank you so much for watching. On behalf of everyone that made this one a success tonight, we do wish to do this again with you tomorrow. Now listen, sign language interpreter tonight has been Philista Adundo. See you tomorrow night on Look Up Weekend. All right? Good night. God bless you.